So everyone's been talking about the Netflix movie Bird Box. I watched it and thought it was hot trash, and I really don't have anything else to say about it other than that. However, there is another Netflix original that I watched recently that not as many people are talking about, and I think they should be. Cam is a horror movie about a cam girl named Lola who gets locked out of her account and replaced with an identical version of herself online, and I'm going to try to peel back the surface of this movie to get to its meaning. Spoilers for here on out. I encourage you to come back to this video after you've seen Cam. It's a pretty decent movie, and there are certainly worse Netflix originals you could watch. I'm also issuing a spoiler warning for the animated thriller Perfect Blue, which I think is a masterpiece and something everyone should watch. Now, you may be wondering why I just brought up Perfect Blue, and that's because while I was watching Cam, I couldn't stop making comparisons between it and Perfect Blue. In case you're not familiar, Perfect Blue is about a pop star named Mima. Mima retires from the music scene to go into acting and experiences a crisis of identity as her fans turn against her and she begins to wonder if she's betraying who she really is in order to get into the acting biz, or if who she thought she was just a public facade. During the movie, she interacts with the Phantom who calls herself the real Mima and goes to take Mima's place in her old pop idol group. Now, if you've seen Cam, you're probably already picking up the similarities here. Much like Perfect Blue, we establish in Cam that our main character Lola has an industry that she wants to break into. She wants to make it big, and she's willing to do some morally ambiguous things in order to do so. However, she has several rules that she will not break in order to get to the top. We also see that Lola's cam girl persona is separate from her real life personality. She puts on a facade and a show for her fans during streams and keeps up that facade during private conversations with her fans. However, in real life, she struggles with the morality of what she does for a living and hesitates to tell her mother about it. As she struggles to climb the ranks to make it big, we see another cam girl betray Lola in order to climb the ranks. It's after this that Lola decides to do a show which she previously declined to do with another cam girl. This is the big moment. Not just because it's the moment where Lola's clone is born, but it's also the reason why her clone is born. This scene shows our main character compromising her own moral values in order to make it big. It shows that, despite her resolve to keep certain rules in the beginning, she is willing to bend or break those same rules. This is important because her clone is defined by how she breaks every rule our main character established in the beginning. That's when I realized that this clone isn't actually another person. It's a reflection of herself. I believe the clone in this movie is literally the main character. The clone represents the character's drive to get to the top, regardless of her own rules or personal moral standards. I believe that the main character did all of the things that her clone did. I believe that after that night with the special cam show, Lola developed a split personality of sorts, which had no rules and was willing to compromise everything the main character stood for in order to achieve success. That night, her online camgirl persona split from her real-life persona. Just like Satoshi Kon's Perfect Blue, this isn't just a thriller about crazy fans and strange occurrences. This is about the main character struggling against her own thoughts and actions. Lola's struggle against her clone is a struggle against herself. Lola breaks all of her rules and throws away all personal integrity, losing sight of who she was in the first place. Now her two personas are so separate that, unlike in the beginning, she has no control over what she does online. This is why Lola's clone doesn't recognize her, and why Lola's clone has access to the account while the real Lola doesn't. After the cam show, the character we follow is Lola's moral conscience, or the personality that still has her personal integrity intact, and Lola's clone is her camgirl persona, or the personality that has thrown away all of her personal integrity for fame. These two struggling personalities finally confront each other at the end when the moral persona realizes that she has to get rid of what spawned the evil persona in the first place, Lola's account. Lola's realized that as long as she has this account, she will never be able to control herself and she will always be a slave to her camgirl persona. When she deletes the account, she is finally free from her online persona and free from the psychological struggle between her thoughts and her actions. However, unlike the ending of Perfect Blue where the main character appears confident in who she is, at the end of Cam, Lola dons a wig and a new username and begins again. This could mean several things. It could mean that the cycle will start all over again. Her online persona will split from Lola and she will have no control once again. Or her donning the wig could mean that this new persona is a safeguard from her online persona breaking away again. By keeping her online self physically different from her real self, it helps her maintain control. Or it could mean that the two personas are still separate, but now harmonious, with the camgirl persona using a disguise as to not upset the life of the real persona. In any case, it's definitely an interesting ending that leaves room for discussion. I think it's an interesting commentary on how we act and present ourselves online and how that can be damaging if we let it go too far. Now, my theory doesn't hold up in every area of the movie. For example, the movie tries to say that Lola was physically copied, and it shows Lola physically showing other people the clone, so the struggle really isn't portrayed as internal or psychological completely. There's also the character of Tinker, who claims to know when someone is going to be copied. But then again, this movie isn't written very well, because if Tinker knew Lola was going to be copied all along, then some of his behavior in the beginning of the movie doesn't really make that much sense. Whether my explanation is true or not, I definitely think the filmmakers were trying to portray an inner moral struggle with Lola and her clone. I was not expecting this movie to be good at all, but it was very engaging. Though it clearly has a lot of flaws, it's a movie that I've been pondering on ever since I saw it. It's not a great movie, but the depth in the writing and execution shows that the filmmakers have the potential talent to make something great. And the more movies we have that are influenced by the likes of Satoshi Kon, the better. I'm Randall the Vandal. Thank you for watching.